Your greatest challenge in life is killing grasshoppers, not giants. What do I mean by that? Um, to begin with, the Bible talks about this grasshopper mentality. And what you need to understand is the grasshopper mentality is literally a godless mentality, and it's a godless existence. It's inferior and it's weak. It is not of God. Numbers chapter 13, verse 25 reads, at the end of 40 days, they returned from spying out the land, and they came to Moses and Aaron and to all the congregation of the people of Israel in the wilderness of Paran and Kadesh. They brought back word to them and to all the congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. Verse 27. And they told them, we came to the land to which you sent us. It flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. Verse 28. However, the people who dwell in the land are strong, and the cities are fortified and very large. Besides, we saw the descendants of Anak there. Verse 29, the Amalekites dwell in the land of Negeb, the Hittites, the Jebusites, and the Amorites dwell in the hill country, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the Jordan. Verse 30, but Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, let us go up at once and occupy it, for we are well able to overcome it. Verse 31, then the men who had gone up, the other 10, who had gone up with Joshua and Caleb, got up with him and said, we are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we are. Verse 32, so they brought to the people of Israel a bad report of the land that they had spied out, saying, the land which we have gone to spy out is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people that we saw in it are of great height. And there we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Anak, who come from the Nephilim, and we seemed to ourselves like grasshoppers, and so we seemed to them. Now that was verse 33, but let's read one more verse, chapter 14, verse 1. Then all the congregation raised a loud cry, and the people wept that night. Now, this was the story of the 12 spies going out to spy out the land. 10 came back with an evil report. 2 of them, Joshua and Caleb, said, we are well able. But the people bought in to an evil report. And so you need to also understand that just prior to this situation, this meeting, this spying out the land, God had delivered his people from bondage in Egypt by demonstrating his power and his faithfulness towards his people. Remember the 10 plagues? There was blood, frogs, lice, the flies, livestock, boils, hail, locusts, darkness, and even death of the firstborn. There was the pillar of fire and even the parting of the Red Sea. So what God was showing, he was demonstrating his power, and this is how much I'm with you, this is how much I love you. And 14 verse 1, when you read that in Numbers, it says the people wept. You need to understand that there's nothing more demoralizing and soul-killing than being more fearful than being more faithful. They chose fearfulness instead of faithfulness. They were full of fear, not faith in God. And their eyes were off God. Their eyes were on themselves and the giants. Now, these people, they wept all night because the promises were right there. They could see it. It was within reach, but they were immobilized with fear. They were too afraid to go. So as I close, you need to understand that did God call the inhabitants of the land giants? Did God call the people of Israel grasshoppers? Who said all that? It was the people. The people said they're giants, and the people said we're grasshoppers. God didn't say any of that. And so we all face giants today. What does this have to do with us today? We all face giants today. I sum them up with the 5 P's. Any person, any pleasure, any problem, any pain, or any philosophy in your life that's greater than God is an idol. It's a giant. And many of these modern day giants they come in the forms of drugs, alcohol, masturbation, loneliness, identity crises, finances, marriage, your children, work, politics, sin, flesh, scars, past abuses, trust issues, pride, reputation, social media. All of this competes with God in our lives, and they're distractions. We're no longer looking at God, we're looking at this junk, the 5 P's. And so as I close this up, just remember that the power of God can deliver you from bondage, but only your faith will take you into his promises. The power of God can deliver you from bondage, but only your faith will take you into his promises. So again, your greatest challenge is not killing giants. Your greatest challenge is killing that grasshopper. And if you kill that grasshopper, the giants cease to exist. This is a word from the Lord. So in your face, bow down, fool, in the presence of your God. Hallelujah.